Ceasefire. White House and the Black Sea ceasefire. Good for Russia, bad for Ukraine. And Ukraine peace talks put Russian occupation of Zaporizhzhia Nuclear Plant back in the spotlight. What's at stake? Let's find out. Good afternoon. My name is Henry Keen, and we are doing English, an English-speaking Ukrainian state media in constant persuasion to deliver hard truth in easy terms. For you, for the whole free world, directly from Ukraine. While the White House celebrates ceasefire in the Black Sea after a 12-hour meeting in Riyadh in Ukraine, the enthusiasm is muted, to put it mildly. The agreement is missing crucial securities that Ukraine urgently needs, including protecting its ports from Russian attacks, as well as opening up the blockaded Mykolaiv port. The deal negotiated by the US and Russia leans away more in Moscow's favor. Washington, Kiev and Moscow agreed to a ceasefire on March 25th to, I quote, eliminate the use of force, end of quote, and prevent the use of commercial vessels for military purposes. In return, the US will help restore Russia's fertilizer and agricultural exports to the world market, lower maritime insurance costs, and enhancing access to ports and payment systems for such transactions. If the Russian Navy returns to Sevastopol, to Crimea, we will have many risks regarding, for example, our joint anti-mine initiative, where we try to determine our sea routes in partnership with Bulgaria, Turkey and Romania, also said Vovk. And there are very conflicting statements also about when the ceasefire will start, because President Volodymyr Zelensky says it is in effect immediately, at 25th of May, while the Kremlin says it will begin when sanctions on Russian food producers and exporters are lifted. That reads like never, or maybe should be never. After Russia pulled out of the UN and Turkey brokered Black Sea Grain Initiative in July 2023, Ukraine's military carved out its own trade route through the sea. It has been a lifeline for Ukraine's economy by allowing cargo vessels to sail safely, by hugging the coastlines of Bulgaria and Romania while guided by the Ukrainian Navy. Sea drone attacks that sank Russian ships pushed Russia's fleet eastward and away from the Crimean ports, adding an extra safety caution. Now all the roll back. Thanks to Putin's beloved genius President of the United States, Donald Trump, Ukraine's Defense Minister Rustem Umerov said Russia would violate the new agreement if it moves its warships westwards again. It will be regarded as a threat to Ukraine's national security, he adds, and a ceasefire will be considered void. Since embarking on its own maritime corridor, Ukraine has been able to export non-food-related products, crucially iron ore, which has kept its battered metallurgy industry afloat. Only agricultural products were allowed under the initial grain initiative. But the upside for now is that Ukraine will not have to return to the previous terms of the Black Sea Grain Initiative and will be able to continue to export metal and mining products. Without access to sea exports, Ukraine's metallurgy sector lost out to competitors on the global market, which in turn hit Ukraine's economy and caused shortages in countries reliant on imports. The National Association of Extractive Industry of Ukraine told the Kiev Independent media. Ukraine's own corridor boosted exports by nearly 60% compared to the grain deal, reaching 92 million metric tons last year, according to the Center for Transport Industries. This included 33.7 million tons of iron ore and 89.9% increase from 2023, according to the JMK Center, a metallurgy consulting company. Well, here is hard truth in easy terms for all of you. Nobody in their sane mind would doubt that Trump's administration actually advocates for whatever is favorable for Russia, neglecting what actually Ukraine needs. That's the policy, if we look at bare facts. And if we look at international law, actually, according to it, this kind of appeasement of criminals, neglecting the victims' interests of their aggression, is called complicity in a crime. But for someone who is a convicted felon, it's just another Thursday. Let's start with Russian ambitions, shall we? The thing was, Russia's foreign ministry claimed on March 25th that the Zaporizhzhia Nuclear Power Plant in Ukraine, occupied by them, is Russian. Well, of course, it is. Why for Putin not to claim that solar system is Russian? I mean, seriously, why not? Trump would lean to it anyway. And then Caroline Leavitt can say, well, let's pass the universe and under American control, so you guys don't have to kill each other over it. But just look at Russia, running on American dollars and iPhones, driving German cars. What is Russia with no Western technology and markets? What would they do with their gas and oil if it is not sold to the West? Name me one, just one, any Russian technology that is crucial to the world if it is not meant to kill anyone. That's right. But then comes White House and tries to whitewash everything and to seal another American deal.
The United States could be very helpful in running those plants with its electricity and utility expertise. American ownership of those plants would be the best protection for that infrastructure. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt.
The control of the Russian-occupied Zaporizhzhia Nuclear Power Plant, ZNPP, the largest one in Europe, has been actively discussed between Kyiv and Washington over the past week. President Volodymyr Zelensky confirmed on March 14 that the fate of the plant and the adjacent Russian-occupied territories were discussed with the US during bilateral talks in Saudi Arabia a week prior. Zelensky said that the return of the plant without Ukrainian control over a city in which the plant actually is located, Enerhodar city, just isn't possible. Quoting him, you can't just say, here's the plant and the city of Enerhodar is separate, Zelensky said. Enerhodar, Zaporizhzhia Oblast, is located on the Russian-occupied east bank of the Dnipro River, with Ukraine having no access to the adjacent territory. Experts say that regaining control over the plant is a difficult goal for Ukraine, indeed, and a potential prolonged military presence there without driving the Russians out is an unlikely option. This is a political, military, perhaps diplomatic, but definitely not an energy question. Alexander Kharchenko, managing director of the Energy Industry Research Center, told the Kyiv Independent Media News. What is known so far, in easy terms? Russians want more, as usual, as always. Ukraine is not accepting those criminal demands as usual and always, and White House keeps coming out with unviable appeasements as usual and quite as always. Let's not forget Russian heavily mined ZNPP. I mean, seriously, again, they heavily mined the biggest nuclear power plant in Europe. So I guess it is safe to say we just have to wait. As it is now, not even the question of if it blows up. It is a terrifying when. Well, that was it for tonight. My name is Henry Keane, and we are UATV English, an English-speaking Ukrainian state media, in a constant persuasion to deliver hard truth in easy terms for the whole free world, directly from Ukraine. Please, in return, like, share, and comment. Your voice matters indeed, as it helps Ukrainian voice to be heard globally. Stay safe and see you very soon.